Well, hello everybody. This is Wendy. I am so excited you're here with me today. I am going to show you how to make 3 different Young at Heart fun fold cards. We're going to use the Young at Heart stamp set, and right off the bat, I want to tell you the links for my blog and for the items I use in this are listed below if you want to purchase any of them. And also, I want to share with you that these were recorded on Facebook. So if the quality of the video seems a little less than normal, it's actually because these were pre-recorded on Facebook. I downloaded them, uploaded them to my editing software, cut out a bunch of stuff, edited them, and then I'm doing a voiceover. So essentially, I tried to clean them up so that I could do all 3 cards in one setting. So these are the 3 cards, and they are so stinking cute. I just absolutely love them. And all of them are a fun fold. People who purchased from me in the month of July got these card kits for free, along with this 4x6 pack of designer series paper. And people who purchased the actual class from me got all 3 cards, the paper, rhinestones, and then they had the option to add on the Young at Heart stamp set. Now for the month of August, I have a Christmas in August class going, and I'm going to actually be releasing a Will Walrus Need a Card class, and that'll be coming up in the middle of August. So if you want to get in on my classes, you can always visit my website at loveandstampin.com and click on classes, and that's where you'll get all the information for my classes. This one is closed. It's no longer available, but I wanted to show you how to make the cards. This month's or July's card kits was not an exclusive video. I shared how to make the cards on Facebook. The only thing that was exclusive was getting the kits and getting the DSP. So we're going to start out with the 3 ladies here, and we're also going to do the lady holding the cake, and we're going to make those 2 cards first. The first one up is this one. And it's an easel card, and it sits up just like this, and then there's a little sentiment on the inside. And it says I think it's like, you are only as young as you feel, or old. You're only as old as you feel. Oh my goodness. So the DSP in this one is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And you've got a card base cut at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then we're going to score it at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. All the dimensions of all the pieces of cardstock are listed over on my blog. So rather than me try to recite them all to you here, just go over to my blog. The link is below this video, and all the dimensions for everything I use is listed out there. Okay, so we got our scoring out of the way, and then we're going to add our DSP. Now this part's really important. You only want to add adhesive to the lower part of your designer paper, because if you add it to the top, your easel part that bends will not bend, or it will bend, but it'll bend your DSP along with it, and then you won't have that cool pop-up looking feature. So just below that line, and then you're going to adhere the piece of DSP, and then when you do all the folds, you'll see the magic that happens, and it has just this little pop-up piece, which is really, really fun. So I was inspired to do this class because I love the Young at Heart stamp set. I think it's one of the cutest stamp sets, and I have a lot of friends in my life who are just super sweet and near and dear to my heart. And I thought it would be so much fun to create cards that made me think of them, and that would be good cards to have on hand for their birthdays. In fact, one of them's birthday is today, my friend Laura. So she is, we're going to actually go out to dinner tomorrow night, Saturday night, for her birthday. We're going to go to a fancy restaurant in downtown Sacramento, I believe it is. And we're really excited about that. It's very rare that we get dressed up and go out and do anything, to be really honest. We do lots of stuff together, but as far as like going somewhere nice or fancy, that doesn't seem to happen as often. So we're excited to do that, and I am giving her one of these cards. So, and then I'll probably save the other couple cards for other events. We've got the 3/4 inch circle punch here in Whisper White, and I'm using real red ink, and I'm going to stamp the yay sentiment onto this little circle. Now, I will tell you that this 3/4 inch circle punch is no longer available. It is a retired item. I rarely use retired items. But in this case, I just had to. It's a punch that I've held on to. I'm not going to get rid of because I love the size and it works well for so many things. And a lot of you still have that. And it's something that you could get anywhere, honestly. A 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch? Yeah. 3/4, 3/4 inch circle punch is not something that would be difficult to purchase elsewhere if you really wanted one. This is a 1 inch circle punch in Daffodil Delight, and then I'm just going to add it to the edge of my Daffodil Delight rectangle there. And then we're going to do our stamping and our coloring. So I'm going to stamp in Memento Tuxedo Black ink because that's the ink that works well with Stampin' Blends markers. And so I'm going to ink it up, stamp it, and then I'm going to color. Now the weird thing I did with the coloring here is I did not add any skin tones. I left all of their skin plain white. And that was simply because I wanted this to just be quick and easy. And I wanted the focus to be on their outfits and not them necessarily. So that was my little creative thought process in my head. Not honestly sure how much I liked it once I did it, but that was where my mind was at. Okay, so as I color this, I think we should have a little bit of story time. So I left off the last time telling you about going to the Colosseum and the Vatican in Rome. And I have to tell you the funniest thing that happened in Rome the whole time we were there. And I'm actually going to share the video at the end of this video because I got it on video. So if you want to see that, stick around till the very end of this after like the credit, where I do my little end clips, which actually I don't think there will even be end clips. Excuse me. I had a yawn. You'll just stick around till the end of the video and then you can see the little outtake at the end of my cousin. So we decided that one of the things we had to have while in Italy was gelato, because why wouldn't you have gelato while you're in Italy, right? So I have a dairy intolerance. It just makes my stomach hurt. And so I knew that I couldn't eat like a whole gelato all on my own, but I could have like a bite of hers. So at least I could taste it, which is kind of like torture if I'm being totally honest. So we went to this. So, okay, to back up, when we were on a tour to Tuscany, the tour guide told us, he gave us some tips about going to different places. And he said, if you go to eat gelato in Rome, don't go to a place that has the gelato all fluffy and in the containers and you look through and you can see it through the window. He said that's not a real gelato. It is basically, it's got preservatives in it and all this kind of stuff, and it's not as good. He said if you're going to a gelato shop, you've got to go to one that has closed containers. So there's a container and there's a lid on top. He said, so you can't even see the gelato. And the reason they do that is to keep it all the same temperature inside. So he said, if it doesn't have that lid and it's not enclosed, then it's not the best gelato. So we looked for a gelato place like that and we found one, and it was so super cute and adorable. So we went in. And the other thing he told us is if it's real gelato, it will melt really fast because it was really hot in Rome. Okay. So he said it's going to melt really fast. Well, y'all, he was not lying. It melted so fast that my cousin could hardly eat it. I mean, it was a mess. So by the time I took a bite and she started eating, it was dripping everywhere and making a huge mess. And we were laughing so hard about all of it and like having such fun with the situation. We didn't even realize there were people taking photos of my cousin trying to eat the gelato. We didn't realize that until after. when we were watching the video, and we kept seeing these flashes go off on her, and I was like, people were taking photos, I think, because I can remember hearing people like stopping and talking, and now I realize they were probably laughing at us because we were in our own little world. She's eating this gelato, it's getting everywhere, it's a huge mess, we're arguing, I'm trying to get her enough napkins to deal with the situation. And it was hysterical. And it's probably not going to be as funny to you as it was to us. That is one thing we have discovered in our little videos that we captured. We thought they were way, way funnier than anybody else, because we did show them to a couple of people, and those people didn't seem to be nearly as enthused as we were about our videos. So, I'm just going to tell you the truth. We rewatched our own videos of ourselves being silly at night before we went to bed, and laughed again at the videos because we thought they were so funny. And I'm really hoping to get to go visit her in October in Montana. And if I do, I'm looking forward to watching the videos with her again. Again. What is wrong with us? I don't know. It's odd. We're odd. Okay, so that was our funniest thing that happened in Rome. And we also got swindled in Rome. Well, actually, we had a couple things happen. So one was that there were a lot of people. So apparently there's a lot of people that come over from Nigeria, that because Italy's not that far from Africa. So there's a lot of people that come over from Nigeria because it's so poor there that they're trying to come over and make some money. So they have like these little bracelets, or they have different like trivets that turn into baskets, and they try to sell them to you. And they're very aggressive. I would say borderline frightening at moments. So Shannon saw these trivets that she really wanted, and it was from a Nigerian person, and we had been warned multiple times by multiple tour guides to please be careful when we were approaching them, or if they were trying to offer us anything, because they can get really aggressive if you don't give them the amount of money that they want. And forgive me if this sounds ignorant, or if, any of those things, but when you're traveling in other countries, you don't know. You just don't know. Like, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what's safe, what's not safe. And there were, probably at least 3 to 4 people, the concierge at the hotel, tour guides, that warned us about this. So my cousin decides that she wants one of the items that is being sold on the street, and she, instead of just walking up to the guy and saying like, how much is that, and then negotiating her price with him, she walks up and says, where is this made? And of course he says Africa. And in my head, I'm thinking China. Like, China. It's made in China. I'm sure all the stuff is made in China. Like, it's not stuff probably that has been authentically made in Africa. Because it wouldn't be making them a profit if it was. It would take them too long to make these things. So she asks him this question, and he says it's 20 euro. And so she's like, no, never mind, I'm not interested, and goes to walk off. Well, then it got a little scary. He started pursuing us, and I'm not kidding, probably for a half a mile down. We walked away from him, and he started pursuing us probably a half a mile past where we initially spoke with him. And finally she was like, I'll give you 5 euro. And he said no. And then she was like, no, 5 euro. So finally he said, fine, 5 euro. He took the 5 euro. She took the thing, and we went on our way. But we were like walking faster and faster and faster. And we were getting a little nervous because he was being so aggressive, and he was right on top of us, following us. And so that was the only thing that happened in Rome that was a little bit uncomfortable or disconcerting. And I think that honestly it wouldn't have even happened if she would have just like gone up and offered him how many euros and then left and been done. But I think it was the engaging him and then the walking away, and then he felt like he was missing out on a sale. And I'm sure that they struggle selling stuff, and it's hot out there, and they're standing out in the street, and I just can't imagine. So, anyway, she ended up getting her weird little trivet thing that she had been talking about the entire time we were in Rome. I was glad she ended up getting one since she kept wanting one. It stunk. It smelled so bad. I don't know what they use on this, but it is so stinky. And but she was happy. She was happy she got one and took it home with her, and that will be her memory of haggling with somebody in Rome. So that happened. And then the other thing that happened was we got swindled because we had purchased tickets to the Vatican. Let's real quick, I want to back up to this card. So this card is 2 pieces of 8.5 by 5.5 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, scored at 4 1/4, and then put together. That's it. That's all it is. And it makes a trifold. And then the front is Highland Heather, and it is cut at, I don't know what it's cut at. Let me look. 2 7/8 by 4 1/4. And then you've got this little Whisper White piece for your stamping. And then we're going to do the sentiment on the inside. Okay, so when we were going on our way to the Vatican after our Colosseum tour, and we had been warned about this, and I was pretty skeptical, but I think she was definitely more feeling like we needed to listen to this guy. And he convinced us, we'd already purchased tickets to the Vatican online, and he convinced us that we needed these extra tickets to be able to get into St. Peter's Basilica, or we were going to have to wait in a really long line at the Basilica. That was a lie. It was a lie. Once you're in the Vatican, you're in the Vatican. And there was no other line to the Basilica. It was perfectly fine. We had no issues getting in. And our tour guide left us right before the Sistine Chapel. So we paid extra money. We basically got swindled for about €35 or something like that. But, you know, you've not lived until you've been swindled one time in a foreign country, right? So we were just silly. We didn't listen to, I mean, people had warned us. People had told us, like, that there would be these tour guide operators standing outside of the different venues and different places, and that if we weren't careful, they would try to get us to purchase more or upgrade our tickets and stuff, and it wasn't necessary. So we had been told all of that. But then you get in the situation and you're like, oh, well, maybe I didn't do this right, or maybe I didn't order this ticket right. And you kind of just go, okay, well, I guess we have to listen to them. I don't know. It's a weird thing. And so now that we have traveled out of the country, and now that we have experienced some of these things, I think we would be wiser the next time that we went anywhere. But, you know, these are all things that you learn, and just lessons when you are doing something new. Anytime you do something new, there's always going to be unexpected things or lessons that you have to learn. And so we know that now, and I know for sure now, okay, won't do that again. won't have that happen again. I don't know that I'll ever get to go back to Rome. I definitely would like to go back to Italy, and maybe see some other areas of Italy. I would absolutely love that. So, all right, here's the second card all finished, and now we're going to move on to the third card. Okay, so we're going to score this 4 1/4 by 11 at 5.5 and 2 3/4. This is going to create a vertical folding easel card. So pretty much just like the horizontal easel card, but this one will be vertical. So I've scored in both places, and now I'm going to use designer series paper to decorate the front, just like I've been doing. And I've cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have several layers. No, I'm not. That's not true. This is smaller than that. I believe it's 3 3/4 by 5. Anyway, I'm going to, everything's listed over on my blog. If you just click the link in the video below, or in the description below the video, you will be able to go right to the website and get all the measurements for all these cards. So they're over there. So now I'm going to attach this to the front of the card. Again, only putting adhesive below that score line so that when I fold, it pops up. And then I'm going to layer all the other pieces. So I have a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock here. And then on top of that, I'm going to layer a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And then I've pre-cut my Night of Navy, scallop circle and a Whisper White circle. And I punched a Whisper White story label punch. So those pieces are from the circle layering circle dies. Good grief, I can't talk. And then the punch is obviously from the punch. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is stamp and memento ink, and I'm going to color the two ladies for the front of this card. So while I'm coloring, I will share with you the coloring I'm going to do for these two ladies. One of them is representing me. I'm Caucasian, and then one of them representing my best friend, who is African American. And we really have such a great time together. And one of the things I have to say is, like, we really tease each other often about our ethnicity, and it's all in good fun. We love each other very much, and we kind of just make fun of the different racial stereotypes and stuff like that. So one of her favorite things to tease me about is my love of animals, because she declares that African American people don't find it necessary to get in the ocean to surf because they're sharks, and they don't think it's necessary to get into cages with wild animals and, you know, all of those things. And white people, for whatever reason, seem to be drawn to those types of things. And so it's just one of those racial stereotypes that is funny, and we poke fun at it. And I mean, I have to admit, like, we've been at a zoo together, and it was kind of like a rescue zoo, a sanctuary zoo, and there were deer right next to the fence. And I went to stick my hand over the fence and pet the deer, and she hit me, and she's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, why would you do that? That deer could bite your hand off. And I'm like, look at it, it's so cute. It looks like Bambi. Why would you think that it's going to bite me? She's like, because it's a wild animal. And I'm like, you know, you got a point. So we tease and joke about things like that all the time. And so her birthday is actually today, when this video is airing. And so I'm going to give her this card for her birthday. So I started out coloring her skin with the light soft suede, and I hated it. So I went back in and I used the bronze marker. The soft suede had kind of like a greenish tone. It worked great for other stuff, but it just didn't work great for her skin tone. So, you know, you can only get as close as you can get with markers. Honestly, I probably could have just not colored the girl that's representing me with anything, and it would be more representative, because I am like the palest white person ever. So it's like, you know, I should have just left it with the white cardstock. I'm doing my shirt in Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to do her shirt in Night of Navy. And I just did the darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. I don't know why. I just thought it would look cute, and it turned out pretty cute. So I'm going ahead coloring this in, and I'm going to color her hair with, well, let's do mine first. I'm using Daffodil Delight on my hair, and then a crumb cake to kind of add some darker color in there. And then for her hair, I did a light basic black. The little headband I gave her, I did with a light Night of Navy, so that you could see that headband sticking out. And I have to tell you, the video quality from Facebook just doesn't do this card justice, or this coloring. This coloring came out really, really cute, and it's hard to tell based on this video. So I know she's going to love this card. She is just, I don't know if you guys know what the term ride or die means, but she is my ride or die. She's like that friend that I know, like she won't be the one to bail me out of jail if it came to that. She'll be the one sitting next to me in the cell, right? like that's, she's my Thelma. Like we are just super good friends. I love her to death, and she's a confidant. She's funny as all get out. We have the best time laughing together because we really feed off of each other. We have very similar personalities in one way, and then in other ways we're totally opposites. So we get along really, really well, and we have a lot in common, and just, yeah, we have a good time. So anyway, I think that she is going to love this card, and it says laughing with you is the best form of therapy, and that is the truth. When I need to have a good laugh or a good cry or a good scream, she is the perfect person for me to call and share that moment with, because she always gets it. So anyway, that's her birthday card, and that ends the 3 cards that I made for the free card kits and for the class to go. And so if you signed up and you got that card kit, this is your video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you come back for many more classes to go. I've got a couple coming up. Christmas in August is going right now. If you want to sign up for Christmas in August, you can. The links are below the video. And I will have another class coming up with the Will Walrus Be Friends stamp set. That's coming up at the end of the month. And then, of course, I have the holiday paper party available right now that's going on as well. So if you want to get in on any of those, you can. Okay. So if you want to see either other video from me, click the ones that you see here. Click the circle with my face in it to subscribe. You can shop with me at shoploveandstampin.com. Any of the products you've seen today are available in my online store. And I hope that you guys have a truly amazing day. Bye-bye.